Oh, hell yeah. It's a We Win Wednesday here at Occupy Democrats. And don't you just love it in this breaking story when Donald Trump just absolutely loses? Because you can try and fool the media. You can confuse the general public. But you're not going to confuse the justice system when they don't want to be sycophants. And in this breaking story, we got a judge regarding the Epstein files and all this BS about the files versus grand jury that you have got to see. Because if you've been following this word salad pretzel that Bondi and Carol Lyon Levitt and Donald Trump have been trying to play over the last couple of months, it can be quite confusing. So I'm going to show the story to you in a few seconds because you got to see what this judge just did and called Trump out and hammered him. Got to see it. Let me show you this real quick so you get context on what they've been saying. This.
Because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Well, yeah, see, what I had meant to say was, there's more.
You've had a chance now to take a very careful look at everything the former Attorney General William Barr had to say yesterday. How would you characterize that testimony in relation to Donald Trump?
The folks that actually have all of the information were the federal prosecutors, Alex Acosta, who we are demanding be deposed and testify in front of us. The DOJ had no interest in releasing any records or documents. It was only the subpoena that we forced that is actually now snowballing what we're seeing in front of us.
Notice how all of this is surrounding the Epstein files and the client list, except for the fact that then Trump tries to act like the cool big guy, but he transitions to this.
In a post on social media, Mr. Trump says he's directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony. Now, this comes as a new Wall Street Journal report on Trump and Epstein's relationship is adding fuel to the fire.
And in this freaking breaking story, what we don't seem to realize sometimes, for some of us, is grand jury testimony is not the Epstein files. It's a tiny, tiny piece of the Epstein files. And this judge just excoriated Trump and his AG sycophant. Check this out.
Diversion. Judge rips Trump DOJ's Epstein grand jury file request in blistering takedown. Another judge who presided over a Jeffrey Epstein grand jury ruled on Wednesday not to release the court materials and did so in a blistering takedown of the Justice Department. Judge Richard Berman explained, the government's 100,000 pages of Epstein files and materials dwarf the 70-odd pages of Epstein grand jury materials. The government is the logical party to make a comprehensive disclosure to the public of the Epstein files. By comparison, the instant grand jury motion appears to be a diversion from the breadth and scope of the Epstein files in the government's possession, the judge wrote. He went on to say, the grand jury testimony is merely a hearsay snippet of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged conduct. U.S. District Court Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer issued a rebuke of President Donald Trump in his ruling over the grand jury documents around the case he presided over involving Epstein and convicted accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The court's review confirmed that unsealing the grand jury materials would not reveal new information of any consequence, the judge determined. They do not reveal any heretofore unknown means or methods of Epstein's or Maxwell's crimes. They do not reveal new venues at which their crimes occurred. They do not reveal new sources of their wealth. They do not explore the circumstances of Epstein's death.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's when you draw lines in the letter of the law, not for what you try to sell the American people on, I'm doing the right thing. I'm ordering my AG to release the grand jury testimony once it's redacted. But that isn't the stories of the victims in detail. That isn't the plane logs, the flight logs, the phone calls. That isn't testimony. And Bill Barr literally just said, while under oath, there is no reason why the AG can't release the files and that the grand jury testimony doesn't have anything to do with it. And that judge just made it so. Keep your eye on this, because if this goes to the Supreme Court or some higher judge tries to flip that decision, you know Trump's going to appeal it. But that will be literally the line that breaks in terms of autocracy, authoritarianism, totalitarianism, and fascism, because the grand jury doesn't have anything to do with the full scope of 100,000 pages of the Epstein files. You guys stay frosty.